All right, guys, so we're going to talk real quick about team movement and communication. So a lot of us want to do the drills and understand what it takes to move and shoot. One of the problems with this is we get so hung up on the shooting portion of it that we get tunnel vision and we lose sight of all the other things that are going on around us. So there's a few key principles for us to do team movement and communication effectively, right? And we really want to emphasize on the communication. So the communication to start off with is going to be 3 different ways right off the bat that we can communicate. One is going to be visual, by looking and seeing what's going on. The other is going to be through vocals, and the other one is going to be through touch. So there's other ways that we can communicate, but these are the 3 primary. So when we look at the visual, right, one of the things, and we want to start doing bounding or center peels or peel left, peel right, whatever the movement is, right? One of the first things that we want to start to do is to look at our teammate and to look at our partners or the people who are inside this situation with us to see what they are doing. Sometimes we'll find when there's a breakdown of communication, right, they're so focused on what do they have going on that they're not looking to us. So you're trying to communicate with them, but they're not responding. If I look, sometimes I can figure out what the problem is. Maybe they have a malfunction. Maybe they're injured, right? Maybe they just don't hear me, right? So by me looking when I'm trying to communicate, it helps visually by letting me understand what's happening in this situation. Another thing that happens with our communication is when I'm staring at you and I'm yelling towards you and trying to communicate towards you, right? Sometimes you have that feeling that someone's looking at you and it kind of will guide them in. The next one will be vocal. So vocal, going along with that, is I have the communication of what I'm saying to you. And again, when I look to you and project my voice towards you, it's much more likely that you'll hear what I'm saying versus if I do this, right, and I'm yelling and you're this way and I'm looking away from you yelling, or I'm on the gun and the gun's right here up against my face and you're right here, or if you're right-handed and you're over here and the gun's blocking my mouth and I'm yelling to you, but you don't hear me because I'm not projecting my voice your direction. The other thing is, if you're picking up on it, if you're paying attention, if your partner is close to you, or if you're wearing headphones that have those microphones built into them, sometimes I can hear if you have a malfunction. Maybe I hear you bitching and moaning at your gun like, oh crap, all right? Or maybe I hear you say, I got a jam or something like that. And I understand without looking, right? I understand that you're working through a malfunction because I was listening. Does that make sense? Right? The other thing I can do is listen to, well, what's the bad guy saying? What are the bad guys doing? If I hear them saying like, hey, run around the side, like, okay, they're trying to flank me. You know what I mean? I might hear that, and now we can adjust our tactics based on my communication with my partner, what the other people are saying, and what other people around us in the situation are saying that we can pull in information from, right? Another form of comms will be touch. Sometimes you're so into it and the dude's yelling or whatever and they don't hear you and you come by and you give them a tap like, hey man, let's go. They're like, oh, you know what I mean? You like kind of snap them out of it, right? When there's a lot of people talking, a lot of gunshots going on, right? Explosions, whatever it is, right? Sometimes that touch is the best way to get their attention. The other way is sometimes the touch, right, will be, if I don't want to be yelling, we can use touch to signal go or stop or last man, right? Going into that again, you can use touch and hand signals, so touch and visual to do hand signals so you don't have to talk. Does that make sense? Going back into vocals, sometimes I don't talk and I don't touch, but I use the vocals of the guns, right, to do our communication on, hey, I'm good when we get into the movement phase. I'm good. I'm holding cover for you. How do I know that? Because I hear you shooting, right? Now it's my turn, but that's a little more advanced. But there's different aspects to this. But the thing with this is, when we're talking about communication, is we want to use all the different forms of communication that we have, right? And we want to be actively using them the whole time we're going through the situation.